Hello, I'm Dan Winkowich with Tri-States Grain Conditioning, and I've come back to talk about another subject that has to do with grain temperature monitoring. Today, we're going to talk about the moisture cable and other fairy tales. Now, you might ask, why do I term it another fairy tale? Well, let me tell you a little bit about a moisture cable, and we're going to do it this way. We'll first answer a question. And that'll be, where did the moisture cable come from anyway? For years, people have monitored the temperature of their grain. And they know that if the temperature remains stable, the grain remains stable. But then along came the moisture cable. Well, where did it come from and why? Well, the moisture cable really developed out of a wish. And the wish was, many farmers and many grain managers said, I wish I could know what the moisture content of my stored grain in that bin is. And so as this was expressed over and over again, someone had the idea, if there's a real desire for that, there's a market. Well, the market for that then created an opportunity. And someone said, now how can I do that? Well, what I'll do is I'll develop a product. And so they did develop a product, and that product is called today a moisture cable. Well, you might remember another fairy tale which is told about an emperor who went for a walk. And the emperor walked down the street naked. And finally, one little boy said, the emperor has no clothes on. Well, today I'm telling you, the emperor has no clothes on, and there is no such thing as a moisture cable. There, however, is a cable that has two sensors in it. A sensor that is a temperature monitoring sensor, and then another that measures the relative humidity of the air that's surrounding the kernels of grain that's in the bin. This then has to be hooked to a computer which utilizes a software which takes both of those pieces of information, and then through its running of the program and using some algorithms, it gives you an estimate of the moisture content of the grain that's stored in that bin. Well, that sounds great. However, there are a few problems involved with the moisture cable. One is that it can only measure what it touches. So if you have a large bin, you're going to need a lot of moisture cables. Otherwise, you only know what the moisture might be in the spot where the cable is located. Secondly, it tells you what you already know. Today, I don't know of many people who put grain into a bin that they don't know what the moisture content of that grain is. Your combine is going to tell you, or if you're selling that grain, it's going to be tested before the elevator manager puts it in his bin. And so that is a known quantity. And then we know that if the temperature remains stable, that moisture content is going to remain stable as well. Finally, it's rather expensive to put a moisture cable in, which you may know if you've tried to get a price on it, or if you get a price on it, you will find out. But it sells. So therefore, my friends, you have the story of the moisture cable, which really is a relative humidity sensor and a temperature sensor in one cable. But it doesn't do everything that it may have been presented as doing. Think about that and grow in your knowledge of how to store your grain. So from Tri-States Grain Conditioning, we say thank you and have a great day.